Hello, and thank you for this opportunity to share this information with everyone out there that seeks liberty and justice, true Americans that are tired of the oppression that's been ongoing in this country for too long by the deep state. And right now we have an opportunity to change this, but effectively the government is totally rogue, and they're trying to destroy yet another truth teller, myself. Again, this is Mike Parsons. Many may know me as Mike from Tennessee, as a former host of the Voice of Truth radio show out of Memphis, Tennessee for many years, and contributed to many radio talk shows around the country, including Joyce Riley's show, The Power Hour, for many years. In short, beginning back in 1998, Mrs. Parsons and I bought a small family farm and began building our dream home in Southwest Tennessee. However, after 6 years of being terrorized by locals for no reason other than one of their buddies wanted part of our property, and he was politically connected. Little did I know to what degree he was politically connected. But during the course of those 6 years, Mrs. Parsons and I were both shot at numerous times. 4 of our pets, our wolf hybers, were shot and killed right in front of us. Every time that I would report this to the local authorities, I would get arrested. I was being persecuted for exposing these criminals for attacking my family. I was told personally by the judge to not press charges, or that I would be locked up, and that the jail there in Tipton County is a dangerous place and many people don't come out alive. Little did I know that this was a corrupted system that's basically going on all over the country. I then started doing research, and I discovered that effectively they are rigging the elections. In 2006, when I ran for office, I won in a landslide. My website is mikeparsons.org, and you can see a screenshot taken from Channel 5 News in Memphis. There was a movie going on at the time, and they showed the crawler at the bottom of the screen, and it shows that I had 79% of the vote with 4,282 votes, and the 20-year incumbent had less than 2,000. And, of course, these were the official tabulations coming from the election office that night. And then the very next day, they claimed that I had lost and that I had less than 2,000 votes. Well, I didn't lose. They flipped the votes. I had actually received phone calls that night where they had told me that I had won in a landslide, and I was getting congratulations from many people around the county. I'm not a politician. I'm just a guy that got fed up. I was tired of the abuse, and I saw the only solution was to run for office and eliminate those people that were destroying too many people's lives in the county. Well, they rigged the election. I discovered how they rigged the election while I was suing to void the election. And during that time, Mrs. Parsons and I were shot at by an accomplice of the guy I was suing over the county executive race. The perpetrator shot 29 times at us. He shot and killed our dog Brandy right in front of me. We were 100 yards away from this perpetrator, too far for me to return fire. As a weapons permit carrier for many years, a former Shelby County Sheriff's special deputy, in order for me to carry armed as a pilot for the United States Air Force Civil Air Patrol. I was a special missions pilot for many years. I had to have a commission with the local sheriff back in the early 90s in order to be able to carry so that I could legally get around without being harassed by the police. Well, therein lies the problem. They don't like people that know the law and follow the law. They want people to do what they're told. It's a backwoods mafia, and in many counties, you got corruption running amok. And in this case, I was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and railroaded into prison for 7 years for telling a guy to stop shooting. Never shot at him, never touched him, never got within 30 feet. His crimes were ignored. The fact is that ultimately, this charge against me was overturned by an international court, and most people may not be familiar with the Chilcotin Indian Nation. This is a sovereign First Nation that's been around since the last Ice Age for over 1,000 years, long before the United States Corporation or Canada Corporation. They still exist. They operate through their hereditary chief system. They're a self-governing sovereign people within their own right. exactly the same way that the United States was constructed as a republic of self-governing people. They recognized their hereditary chiefs as the power within the Chilcotin Nation, and the Chilcotin National Congress, well, that's the authority by which the country of Chilcotin exercises their authority. I was acquitted or exonerated of the false charges in the Chilcotin Nation, who was an international court back in 2015. Shortly after that, they adopted me as a full tribal member because they observed how I was able to, with less than 2 weeks' time, prepare and defend myself in a 4-day trial. I'm not a lawyer, have no legal training whatsoever, but yet I know the truth and I have an excellent memory, and I'm able to argue, and I don't extort. And they valued the fact of my integrity, willing to stand up for my rights and the rights of others, and as such, they wanted me to come and be a part of their nation, as well as assist them with developing their government, which I did. Shortly thereafter, I was adopted and also appointed as their ambassador, simply because of my past experience as a manager with Federal Express, my experience running small businesses, my experience as an adjunct faculty member at Southwest College. In short, I had many of the tools that they needed in order to establish their governing authority and to put together their operations there, including I found a company in Tennessee that's a logging company, and put together with a Chinese buyer, a company that wanted to purchase timber, was putting together the plan in which they were going to develop their natural resources so that all of the Chilcotin tribal members could go back to work. That way they could have good paying jobs, and the revenue stream from this $1 billion a year timber deal, 50% of it would be distributed back to every Chilcotin tribal member as a dividend because it's their resources. This is how it should work, folks. In this country, unfortunately, this corporation posing as government gives away your oil and my oil to foreign interest who pays the government pennies per barrel, but yet sells the oil to you in the form of gasoline at dollars per gallon. And for those of you who may not have ever heard or known the fact that the United States was converted into a corporation after the Civil War, you simply go to Title 28, United States Code, Section 3002, under definitions for the judiciary and judicial procedures. Under definition 15 for United States, it clearly says the United States is a federal corporation. It was incorporated after the Civil War. That's why since 1871, the United States has no treaties signed with any Native American nations. That's because a corporation like Walmart or any other corporation can't sign treaties. They're not a real government. They're a corporation. It's a business. Well, little did I know in my radio show and in my efforts on other people's shows that I would be exposing their dirty little secrets. And this is the problem. This is why they're coming after me in such a big way. They want to silence me and anyone like me because I dare to expose their dirty little secrets like the rigging of elections. I expose how they're doing it. I expose they're rigging the outcome of every court case in every court across the country, and I expose how they're doing it. Ask any judge the form of court that they're operating. They will not tell you. You're not allowed to know the rules. They want you to have an attorney to shut you up, and then they sandbag and you lose. Unless they want to let you go. If you pay enough money, they'll let you go. But otherwise, you lose. It's the way that they fill their jails, and these are private for-profit jails and private for-profit prisons. It's a human trafficking racket. It's how they balance the books, such as the the foster care system in this country, as you know it, and the Child Ministry Service in Canada are operating a pedophile-infested child trafficking racket by which they give the foster family $50,000 a year, and not all of them are pedophiles, no, but many of them are. The vast majority, I would say, at least over 50% of the children, from what I've heard in Nebraska in a report a few months ago, said that over 50% report. Now, that you realize not all of them report the fact that they've been sexually assaulted. The pedophiles get $50,000 a year, and they give $250,000 a year to the government to balance their books. They don't want these secrets known, and including their biggest secret, that they're a corporation. Mrs. Parsons and I have done nothing wrong. We've harmed no one. All we do is seek to be left alone on our farm where she's an engineer for 25 years. She was fired from her company last year. Why? Because she was framed by the FBI, told that if she didn't plead guilty to a false charge, they were going to lock her up immediately and all her animals were going to die. So in order for her to save our animals, which are our family, she agreed to plead guilty to something she had nothing to do with, and then she's been sentenced to prison for 5 years. That's a crime. I'm looking at standing trial in the next week, falsely charged with unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon, and to it, interference with interstate commerce. It's a bogus charge. The Second Amendment right to bear arms shall not be infringed means exactly that. They're trying to take away your gun rights, folks. Systematically, they're coming after your guns one by one by one. Prior to the 1968 Gun Act, even if you go to prison, once you serve your time, here's your guns back. Go in peace, do no harm. You're square with the house. They've come up with this once-and-done notion, and they want you, the people, to destroy your fellow man's life and make them defenseless. And the only way that this country can be taken over is when they disarm the public. And too many people don't understand what that Second Amendment is for. We need to reach out to Donald Trump. We need to reach out to the governor of Tennessee. If Donald Trump will recognize my status as the ambassador of the Chilcotin Indian Nation, which the State Department's already issued me an A1 visa, but yet this court doesn't recognize it. If I can get my information to President Trump and he sees the corruption that's going on, I'm confident he would recognize my appointment and the charges will go away and Mrs. Parsons would have to be freed. Also, if someone can reach out to Governor Bill Haslam of Tennessee, he is fixing to leave office. I've sent him a petition for an exoneration of false charges against me. It's on his desk, or I know that he received it because it was sent certified mail. He has not responded. The word is that he's going to exonerate many people before he leaves office, but I need support. If I don't have any support, I don't know if he will even consider me, because these are political moves. These are political acts, and these governors that wait to the last moment to do this, you never know what their motives are. But if there's an outcry from the public that the original false charge, which you can read about at MikeParsons.org and on Rudy's site, yearofjubilee.com/MikePatSue, I believe is the audio of the original trial. And you can hear how I was railroaded and framed and proven that I did nothing to deserve the false charge. And the fact that I was exonerated by the Universal Supreme Court is an undisputed fact that the United States and the state of Tennessee has never responded to, so it stands as fact under international law. And that's the thing they don't want you to know. Under the Vienna Convention, I'm not supposed to be charged. The United States is a signature to international treaties. They don't want you to go back to that Constitution, and on my website, that's what I clearly promote, is adherence to the constitutional recognition of...
You have 1 minute remaining.
As you know, our rights and liberties come from our Creator, not from man. Because they come from God, they can't take them from us, and that's what they hate. Under the Montevideo Convention on Rights and Duties of States, clearly it says that the United States is no greater than the Chilcotin Nation, and the Chilcotin Nation has a right to defend its interests, including assigning positions of government authority, which is what I am. I'm a government official of another country. Now, if you have the ability to contact Governor Haslam, he has the ability to exonerate me. That would eliminate the charges against me currently that are pending in Tennessee and in the federal court system. If they convict me, they're looking to send me to prison effectively for 15 years. And at 57 years of age, that would be a life sentence for me. I've already been attacked by the U.S. Marshal while I was strapped in a chair. They punched me in the mouth without any reason at all, basically just to show me that they can get away with anything they want. They've already tried to kill me 4 times while I've been locked up in the Tennessee.
Thank you for using GTL.